Hey loves! So I'm still wearing my Christmas PJs because the day that I'm filming this, it's still technically Christmas. If you watch my what I got for Christmas video, I said how if Tyler wanted to keep playing the game that I got him for Christmas, I might film another video just to give him a little bit of an excuse. So I thought I would go ahead and film my beauty favorites, my makeup favorites of 2015. So this is going to be high-end makeup favorites. I kind of went through and made a list of things that I really wanted to mention both in this video and my drugstore favorites video. So if I skip a category, it's because I didn't have anything for that category that beat my drugstore favorite, you know what I mean? Most things I have a little bit of something for both videos, but I just wanted to throw out there that if you guys are like, wow, she doesn't have like a black liquid liner in this, it's because my favorite is from the drugstore and nothing high-end beats it. So that's why. So the very first thing that I have in this video, we're gonna go ahead and get started, is the Too Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer, and I have gone through 2 tubes of this. I have never loved a primer more in my entire life. The texture of this is so nice. It smells really faintly of coconut as well. It does have coconut water, electrolytes, and probiotics. The whole thing behind this is it's supposed to replenish your face and kind of balance things back out. I am someone with dry, scaly, dragon skin, so something like this is my BFF on the daily. If you felt like you didn't have skin issues like that all of the time, this might be nice when you're actually hungover. I mean, or it just might be nice when your skin is feeling particularly dry or just problematic, you know what I mean? So I've used this. I really like what it does to my skin. I even wear it on no makeup days because I just feel like it's super moisturizing. And then the next category is foundation, and I do have 2 favorites to show you here. The first is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and this was probably my most used, most loved foundation of this year. I do have other favorites that I'm going to be mentioning, but I feel like I really went ham with this foundation for a while. I also have it in several other colors. Too Faced was kind enough to send these to me when they first came out. Primarily I used warm beige, so this is like a darker color for when I'm fake tan, but right now I'm in the shade vanilla. So I would call this a full coverage foundation. I feel like the sheerest you can get with it is probably medium full. It is amazing, and what I love with it is that it's really versatile in the sense that you can apply it with a brush if you want to. I personally think it looks really nice blended into the skin with fingers. It is a little bit more dewy. My matte foundation favorite is going to be my drugstore favorites because I don't feel like anything beats it, to be perfectly honest with you, but I really like this foundation. Probably my favorite discovery of this entire year. The formula on it is just amazing, and I love how it wears on my skin. But I did really want to mention, because you can see just how much I use this bad boy, the YSL Fusion Ink Foundation, and I have this in the color B30, which is again my fake tan shade. As much as I really do love the Born This Way, I feel like these foundations are very similar, but this one is a little bit thinner in its texture. It actually doesn't even come with a pump. It comes with this little spatula doodad that you have to get the product off of. The finish of this is so similar to the Too Faced Born This Way in the sense that it's a little bit more dewy. This is closer to a satin though. I wouldn't call this a fully dewy foundation. It does give your skin a little bit of moisture. You are going to look a little bit healthy and fresh, but it's not as dewy as this foundation. This one's closer to like a medium to medium full coverage foundation, so it's a tiny bit more versatile, just in the sense that like the coverage is really good, but you do kind of have a little bit of wiggle room depending on what you want that day. Lastly, for foundation, I wanted to mention the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Cream. So I felt like this was easier to mention because it's not technically a foundation, but that's how I would wear this product. You guys, this is the love of my life. This was all I was using for such a long time. This is gonna leave you with a dewy full coverage. This is not like your average CC cream that has a little bit of coverage. This is a new tube. I have literally 3 more backup tubes in my like summer shade, which is medium. The thing with this is it's really easy to apply. Again, you have a lot of versatility with either a brush or your fingers, whatever you want to use, but it can be full coverage. You can put this on in more of a sheer way, and it's just like a really light, like nice layer. It also is super hydrating. It really calms your skin down while evening things out. But if you apply like a second layer of this, it is full coverage. Like you can honestly make this a foundation, and that's why I just think it's such a good product. So all 3 of these are somewhat similar in the sense that you do have a slightly dewier finish, but I do think they're all different formulas. I did go a little bit ham with foundation, so my favorite concealer is just the Urban Decay Naked Skin. This is my only high-end favorite concealer. And honestly, I prefer my drugstore concealers, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but this was the closest thing I could get to duping them. I did go through little spells, like I was using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer for a while, but I don't really love this. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I felt like my mascara often smudged. That's my big issue, is I get panda eyes very easily no matter how long I let my concealer sit on my face. No matter how well I set it, I always seem to get panda eyes with under eye mascara no matter what I use. So this is one that doesn't do that to me, and I really do feel like the consistency of this is very thin. It's very hydrating, and it lasts a really long time. Setting sprays, can't mention one. I use both MAC's Prep and Prime Fix Plus Spray. My friend Alexandra, who works for MAC as a makeup artist, recommended this to me when we were in LA for Generation Beauty like this past summer. I love this product. It just makes your makeup look more lived in. And I usually like my makeup a few hours into wearing it. I like it when my skin has some time to create a little bit of oil. My foundation looks just more natural. This gives you that immediately, and it also just adds so much hydration to your skin. But since this doesn't necessarily prolong the wear of your makeup, I go over it with Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. And a lot of people think that this is weird that I do both. Using these together, I've had the same bottles. I just replaced my Urban Decay All Nighter, but I had the same bottles of both of them for almost 7 months. I don't know how I did my brows with anything else. This is the Anastasia Brow Wiz Brow Pencil in the shade Taupe. You guys, I don't know how I did anything else with my life. This is the best brow pencil. I feel like my brow game has been pretty good lately. A lot of people get on to me about the brows. It's hard, okay? It's definitely hard, especially when you don't necessarily have naturally good brows. I feel like it can actually draw little individual hairs into my brows, and I feel like they look so natural. I feel like I can't really go overboard with this product. Even when I get a heavy hand, I don't feel like it looks bad, you know? I kind of broke the spoolie side. I don't know if I was like particularly angry one day. I'm pretty sure I just stepped on it because the actual plastic is busted, but the spoolie is really great too, as long as you're not like furious when you're doing your brows. Moving on to contour, I have two things that I feel like I used a lot this year. The first thing is the Lorac Pro Contour Kit, and I feel like you can't even really tell, except for this color, that I used it because these shades are so pigmented. They are so smooth, so creamy and buttery, and they look amazing on the skin. But the other thing I wound up using a lot for contour is the IT Cosmetics Vitality Glow Anti-Aging Matte Bronzer. This is such a good bronzer, and it adds a lot of warmth to the skin. I feel like it's light enough to where I can use it when I'm a little bit paler like right now, but I also did use it when I was a little bit tanner for a very light contour. I feel like I have kind of found my happy medium in terms of contour. I also did use Too Faced Chocolate Soleil a lot this year, but I don't really feel like I discovered it, you know, this year, so I don't feel like it should be my favorites. For blush, they are both from NARS, and they are both in palettes, completely separate palettes, so sorry for being high maintenance, but obviously both of them are available individually, and in fact one of them I'm going to mention is available in like a little travel palette for a little bit less money. The first one is NARS's Dolce Vita blush. I felt like I used this a lot in the fall and in the winter. It's a little bit deeper and more plummy without being super dark. I felt like I could wear it with a lot of looks, just to add some definition to the cheeks without being like pearly pink, you know? It just was really beloved by me. I feel like I didn't use it on camera as much as I used it in real life, especially on the go. I don't know why, but I was using this for months on end. I just felt like every time that I traveled, this was the palette. My other favorite is NARS's Orgasm blush, and this has just been used and used by me. I think this is one of the best blushes on the market. Some people don't like the chunky shimmer, but I feel like it's not really that intrusive. Like, I feel like it kind of brushes away once you use it with an actual like blush brush, and it doesn't really enlarge your pores. It doesn't highlight any bad areas on the skin. I always felt like it just added so much life and luminosity to my face. For highlights, I have two I'm going to mention. Again, this one was discovered more towards the fall. It is from Anastasia, and it is the So Hollywood Illuminator. I've kind of gotten through the embossing on the top, but this is just a very bright golden highlight, and when I first saw it, I was like, this is terrifying, like I'm never gonna use this. But the way that it goes on the face is just so nice, and it gives the skin a really nice highlight. I feel like it's not too dark. It adds a bit of a sun-kissed glow, and when it's more sheer, it doesn't really look like a stark gold streak on your face. It just looks like a little bit of warmth, a little bit of light. Champagne Pop from Becca Cosmetics by Jaclyn Hill, and I think everyone really fell in love with this product this year. So Hollywood is right here, and I feel like it's a bit warmer, while Champagne Pop is a bit more of a light highlight. It just brings a lot of light and a little bit of warmth to the skin, but not quite as much as So Hollywood. So it would just depend on your preference. You really didn't need to get both. They're both expensive. So now we can talk eyeshadow, and I limited myself to 3 eyeshadow palettes I really thought stood out to me this year. This first one is from Anastasia, and it is the Shadow Couture World Traveler palette. This has been so used and so loved by me. The Amrezi palette was also very beloved by yours truly, but I haven't seen that in a while. It may have gotten lost in the move. This is very similar though in terms of like the warmth that it kind of brings. But then you have really special little pops like Pink Champagne, and this is just a gorgeous, super metallic neutral. You've got some more colorful shades. I just felt like this was one of the most versatile palettes that I wound up traveling with this year. The pigmentation of Anastasia shadows is amazing. I really, really like their formulation. The palette was limited edition, so I'm gonna kind of treat this as like my single shadow favorites with this one, and I'm just gonna tell you the colors I really wound up using a ton. The first is Morocco, which is a really nice warm matte brown. Pink Champagne, which is that metallic neutral I showed. Also Intense Gaze. This is more of a shimmery rose color, and you might look at that and think that's really terrifying, but even just layered the tiniest bit over a brown, it brings such a warmth to the eyes, and I know I keep going back to that, but I really do love my warm colors. This last one I didn't use quite as much, but I feel like it kind of needs a standing ovation, and it is the color Chic. Again, it's more of a shimmery neutral, but I feel like it's a little bit cooler in tone, and it adds just a little something something to this palette. It's kind of like a taupey, silvery beautifulness. The other palette I really wanted to give some love to is the Batalash for Saucebox palette, and this was primarily what I wound up using. I also did dabble into this green when I was feeling kind of adventurous. These shadows are so obscenely pigmented. They're so smooth. They look amazing. I'm kind of like muddling shadow together here. I don't have a towel or anything, but I think this is the last palette I'm going to swatch, so I'll pick one more. Oh, this color I used a ton, this copper. I just felt like this palette was, again, so good for travel because it is a little bit more colorful, but then again, you have those warm neutrals, especially in the fall. I think that that's right around when this came out, actually. I loved this a ton. So I feel like this just had to be mentioned because I used this for like a month straight and didn't use anything else. Saucebox shadows are really good though, and I need to buy more. I bought this because I do love the Batalash girls, and I wanted to support them and support their palette, and then I really wound up loving it, which is a nice little bonus. The last palette, the reason I'm not swatching it is because you've probably seen a million other people swatch it, and it is Loraque's Pro palette. This I think may have been, I don't even know if I did like a 2014 makeup favorites. It's weird to say the word 2014. It's weird to think that was ever a year. The year feels like it has been so long and so short at the same time, and I don't know how to explain that, but so much has happened this year. But then I look back at 2014 and I was like, that didn't happen that long ago. You guys know what I mean. You know what I mean. Time is weird. I have loved and loved and loved this palette. Some of my favorite shades are taupe. I really like the shade Nude. It's just a pearly, everyday sort of nude. This year I really got into the color Pewter, which is more of a taupey, like cooler brown. I used Espresso a lot for darker looks. I love Sable. So again, we're kind of sticking with those warmer, more neutral shades, but I just really couldn't do this video without mentioning this palette because again, it was one of those things where I went through love affairs with this. I would use nothing but this for weeks and weeks and months and months. So this was probably my favorite palette of 2015. But continuing on with eyes, I do have 2 liner favorites that are high-end that I think are worth the purchase. The first is the Too Faced Perfect Espresso Perfect Eyes Waterproof Liner. It doesn't necessarily have to be this color, which is Perfect Espresso. It's a nice dark brown that I use a lot in the waterline. Like, I know it probably gets a little bit repetitive, but I love it, especially in place of a black. I feel like black can really close my eyes up, and I do have greenish blue eyes, so something like a really rich deep dark brown really helps them pop, and I do feel like this is my favorite pencil liner of 2015. The other liner I wanted to mention is a very recent one, but it is the tattoo liner from Kat Von D in the shade Mad Max Brown. I think it's probably the best pen liner I've ever used, and that's why I really wanted to give it a little bit of love, but I do think that drugstore like liners, I'm going to mention a nice dark brown liner from the drugstore that I think is better than this. That's just something to keep in mind, but if you prefer a pen format, I think this is good. It's not a felt tip, it's like a pointed brush, and I did use it for what I did today. It's just a nice, rich, dark brown. And I do feel like it's easy to build up, it's easy to get a nice line with. The last thing for eyes would be mascara. I think my favorite high-end mascara was probably Tarte's Gifted. I went through 2 tubes of this year, and it's rare for me to go back to a high-end mascara, especially considering I would use this for 3 months at a time. That's half of this year that I spent just using this mascara. The brush is pretty standard. It's just like a normal brush tip. It's quite dry, and that's why I like it, because I have stubby baby lashes, and I just felt like this did really good things for them. This is also the only mascara to date that I have ever found that doesn't smudge in my lower lash line. It's not even waterproof. I don't know why it doesn't smudge, but it doesn't. No matter what I do, even if I don't set my concealer, it will not smudge. So that's why I go back to it time and time and time again. It's not going to give you crazy huge voluminous lashes, but it is going to give you volume. It is going to give you length. It's just not going to do that with the most dramatic results ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are better mascaras than this one, but this is one I feel like I go back to all the time because it just agrees with my lash type. So that was really long-winded about this one mascara. I can't believe how long this video is getting. Last and certainly not least, we have a whole lot of lippies. My favorite lip liner that I feel like I used, as you can really tell by how tiny it is MAC's Boldly Bare. This went through an issue with a bad sharpener, as you can probably see, and I think that I lost maybe an inch of the pencil, but other than that, it's just a nice, like, nudie. Why did I swatch this on my knuckles? I'm so weird. It's a nice nudie peach. I tended to use this under my, like, summer lippy, so my warmer lipsticks, my more peachy lipsticks, and I feel like I wore that in the first chunk of the year, and then I switched over to more mauve things, but there wasn't really a lip liner I stuck to with my mauve lip liners, whereas with this, I really did just stick to this. I didn't really go to anything else, so that was my favorite lip liner of the year, I would say. For lipstick, just traditional lipstick formula, I feel like NARS and Nita, which looks repulsive, I'm telling you, it's so stubby now, was probably my favorite lipstick of the year, just traditional lipstick formula. This is more of a, like, darker nude, and the nice thing with this is it is that mauve shade, but it can be a little bit lighter. You can go in with a lighter hand, you can get just a subtle mauve-y lip, but you can go ham and get something a little bit darker. I really wound up appreciating the NARS Audacious formula this year. My favorite liquid lipsticks of the year, though, I have 3 because I'm so high maintenance, and of course they're all like various shades of nude. The first one is Bellissima from Stila, and this is their Stay All Day formula. This is going to be more of a pastel peachy nude color, and these are going to get swatched on the side of my hand because, again, just running out of swatch space, and I don't want to throw the lighting off. So that is what Bellissima looks like swatched. Very opaque nude, like pastel-y peach. It's not too pastel to where it makes makes your teeth look yellow, but it is kind of erring on that side of things. I don't love the formula of these Stila Stay All Day liquid lipsticks. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I think they're good, but I don't think they're great. I feel like they get a little bit chunky, but this color is really hard to dupe, and it doesn't get chunky for about 5 hours in. You could always just add like a chapstick or a lip gloss, like a coordinating lip gloss in the middle, but just something to know, you're not going to stay fully matte with this lip color. You're not going to stay fully in place with this throughout the day. Just saying, the name is misleading. It is not Stay All Day. I feel like I use this so much, and it is Dose of Color Stone Liquid Lipstick. Again, this is just something where I had a love affair with this baby. I saw this on other people and I thought it looked so cool, and I didn't think it would look cool on me, but as you can see, it's just more of like a cool mauve-y neutral. It's a little bit on the darker side. I just feel like it's so fun. It's just something a little bit different without being a bright color, without even venturing out of the realm of nude. I just felt like it was really cool toned, and I thought it kind of balanced out those really warm looks I was doing for a few months. So I wore that a ton. And then kind of throwing it back to the spring, I wore this shade from The Balm, and it is the Meet Matte Hues Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick. This is in the color Committed, and as you can see, this is more of a nudie, slightly darker peachy shade. I really wound up loving this for a few months, and I would wear it a lot over MAC's Boldly Bare lip liner I showed a bit earlier, just to make it a little bit less dark. It was one of those things where I could wear it alone and it was a nice pop of color on the face, or I could wear it with a really really full look and it wasn't too much, you know? The lip gloss I felt like I wore a lot this year. Naked from Urban Decay. This is their Lip Junkie formula. This has been discontinued and has been replaced with a new lip gloss formula from them, but I think Naked is the exact same shade. It's in a nicer packaging, to be perfectly honest with you. It has a doe foot. It's not a squeezy thingy like this. But here is the color. Again, we're really sticking in the realm of nudes. This formulation has not changed with the new lip glosses from Urban Decay, like their Naked lip gloss, whatever it's called. I'm gonna link it down below so you'll find it. But it has not changed. It just has a brush tip applicator. So they're very minty. That's something to know. They're a little bit plumping without being too plumping. It doesn't like sting or hurt. And they're very hydrating. So I wore this a lot on minimal makeup days as well as my only lip color to give my face a little bit of something and also just to make me more hydrated. And then that was replaced with my YSL Volupte Tinted Oil in number 5. And my husband got me a new one of these for Christmas. He got me a more neutral one because this color, sometimes I liked it, sometimes I didn't. These oils are nice, but the thing is, they just look clear. So I'm gonna show you, it just looks like a clear, slightly pink gloss, but it actually looks really hot pink on my lips, which I think is kind of weird, and it will leave a hot pink stain on for the rest of the day. While that's really nice, sometimes I don't want that, but I did feel like I started wearing this on minimal makeup days. I felt like it really brightened my face, plus this formulation is amazing. I will put it on and I will have the most chapped lips ever, like the most chapped, dry, disgusting lips in the entire world, and overnight it will nourish them to the point where they just look brand freaking new. So I really wound up liking this. This is a really expensive product, but I do think it's worth it. Okay, I'm losing my voice, but that is it. That is it for my makeup favorites of 2015. I will be at you with my drugstore makeup favorites very, very soon. Apparently when I've had a little bit of sleep and my voice has some time to recover. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I will see you so soon in my next video, and until then, please have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.